We've waited months for answers to what caused an A-18 to crash in University City. The FAA releases the pilot's recordings detailing his fateful decision to try to land at Miramar.
The Marines outlined the critical errors that led to the deaths of 4 family members, what they found coming up.
And we head back to the neighborhood, still reeling from the crash, how residents and the sole surviving member of the family killed are reacting to the report.
This is 10 News Live at 5 with Carol LeBeau and Kimberly Hunt.
If the pilot had elected to land at North Island, this mishap would have been prevented.
That sobering statement from the Marine Corps nearly 3 months after an FA-18 plunged into a University City neighborhood, killing 4 people. Today, with the eyes of the media and members of the community looking on, the Corps laid out minute-by-minute details of what happened the afternoon of December 8th. It cited a series of critical errors on the part of the pilot, officers on the ground, and a history of persistent maintenance problems with the jet. As a result, 13 Marines have been disciplined, 4 of them relieved of duty. The Marines news conference followed the FAA's release of cockpit recordings detailing the minutes leading up to the crash.
10 News was the first to bring you inside information yesterday about what the recordings revealed, and now those conversations and the pilot's ultimate decision to try to land at Miramar are sending shockwaves throughout the community. We have comprehensive coverage of the crash investigation and the recordings from all areas of the county, including the Marines' investigation and reaction from the neighborhood where it all took place. We begin tonight with the pilot's recordings and 10 News reporter Steve Fiorina.
Today we learned that several mistakes led to the deadly crash. The air traffic control tape features key moments of conversation between the pilot and the control tower shortly after the Marine FA-18 Hornet took off. The pilot, Lieutenant Dan Newbar, was about 100 miles south of North Island, flying at 13,000 feet when his right engine oil pressure caution light went off. The map shows his options as he ran into trouble: North Island, Miramar, or somewhere else. The jet fighter was over open water 5 minutes after taking off from the USS Lincoln when one engine failed. The pilot had about 30 minutes of fuel, and the tower asked the nature of his problem.
Yes, sir. One soul on board. I've got down to single engine dirty. Possibly a problem with the other engine. And time, fuel remaining about 20 to 30 minutes.
Tracon asked if he wanted a visual approach to North Island or something different. Lieutenant Newbauer said he wanted to try to take it to Miramar if possible. Tracon said okay. Then this.
Just let me know if you want to change to North Island. I'm going to keep you on that heading. It's going to run you right by North Island, and it's going to be the shortcut to Miramar, so just let me know what you need.
Roger.
Caution lights start to add up, but neither the pilot nor those on the ground knew how much trouble he was in, because he didn't follow procedure, didn't pull out his pocket checklist as directed. He didn't have the full picture. Because the tower was unaware of exactly what had happened, something called cross-bleeding, a fuel flow problem, that should have dictated he immediately land at North Island. He tells the tower he wanted a straight-in approach to Miramar.
Sure, 25, you need trapped.
A-firm.
So Newbauer knew this was serious. This view from Sky 10 shows what he saw. We're told the pilot spotted a canyon as he was going down and tried to aim for it, then ejected. If he'd had 2 more seconds of fuel, the military says the plane would have made it. Instead, in University City, a horrific crash and explosion. 2 minutes, 16 seconds after the last transmission, another unidentified pilot reported seeing smoke on the ground, 2 miles northwest and short of Miramar. The Hornet had crashed, and the Yoon family was destroyed. 4 dead, a husband and father in deep mourning. A series of errors and malfunctions and disastrous consequences for the Marines, and particularly for 4 people. I'm Steve Fiorina, 10 News.